Who's ready to get a little bit better? If so, comment yes right now in the comments. Woo! Okay, let's do this. Here's a conversation I have a whole lot. It strikes me, it's kind of funny. I start a lot of my videos and I say, here's a conversation I've been having a lot. But guys, I do 20, 25 hours of coaching every single week through masterminds and through one-on-one clients. Like literally the schedule's full. I can't add people right now. I guess I got a few spots in masterminds, but I have a lot of conversations. On top of that, I'm leading and serving my own organization and another organization. I have a lot of conversations, and my heart is to serve people. I truly believe what Zig Ziglar says. He said, you can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. I'm totally off my script here, but can I encourage you, when you enter into conversations, don't enter into a conversation to be interesting to that person. Enter into your conversations so that you are interested in what's going on in their life. You want to make friends? Literally, I think that statement or that idea comes from the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Phenomenal classic by Dale Carnegie. But be interested rather than interesting. And I try to live my life that way. I don't do it perfectly, just like none of us do. But the reason I do these videos is because I want to be able to serve and add value to you guys. I want to help you solve some problems. And if I can offer some wisdom, some insight, then that is my heart to do it. So I love you people. Okay, so let's talk about this. Because a lot of people right now are feeling, in one word, overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. I try not to timestamp these things, but this pandemic thing happened, and there's a lot of things happening in our economy to this day, and there's a lot of instability and uncertainty, and it can lead us to a place of overwhelm, of stress, of anxiety. It can lead us to having a long list of thoughts of I'm not enough, and I can't do this, and I want to quit, and I just want to run away, and I'm a failure. All of these thoughts, and it's really easy once you start to have one of those thoughts for it to spiral and to keep spiraling, and you cascade into the dark abyss of overwhelm, of hopelessness. Has anybody been there where you just start to feel a wee bit overwhelmed and hopeless? Well, what do you do when you feel overwhelmed? What do you do when you begin to feel hopeless? I think I'd like to give you some encouragement on that. And, I'm not pulling directly from, but the book that I co-wrote with my friend, my mentor, business partner, Bill Walton, came out not too long ago, Creating Your Best Life. You can get it on Amazon or at our website, creatingyourbest.com. And the tagline is Discovering Your God-Given Potential. And a foundational aspect of this book is talking about hope. And the definition of hope is confident expectation. We can say, I hope I win the lottery and I hope I lose weight. We're not talking about a wish and a prayer kind of hope, like a real, for me, a biblical definition of hope. It is confident expectation. So why am I sharing that? Because it connects to what we're talking about here. So when you feel overwhelmed, my number one answer of how do you address that? How do you fix the feeling of overwhelm, of hopelessness? Here's my answer. Begin to shift your confident expectation. Begin to change your hope. Go from hopeless to hopeful and overflowing because you get clear about what you are confidently expecting. I watched a movie the other night. Actually, it came out a while ago, The Secret. And, I was like, I don't know. We'll see what this thing's about. But you know what? There's a lot of truth in that we attract what we focus on. The law of attraction, right? And I believe there's a lot of truth in that we attract what we focus on. And some of you right now, when you're in that state of overwhelm of, I can't do this, and I'm a failure, and I'm not enough, and I don't have all the answers. Do you know what you're focused on? Not good stuff. And you get what you are focused on. You get what you expect. Let's bring it back to a more firm foundation. For me, the Bible, there's a verse in the Bible in Hebrews 11:1 that says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is the substance of things hoped for or confidently expected. So some people are like, I have faith and I'm praying. My faith isn't working. I'm like, no. Your faith is working and so is your hope, because your faith can only manifest what you are hoping for, what you are confidently expecting. So you don't need to get more faith. You actually need to go to the root and shift your confident expectation. Begin to focus on what it is you are desiring. Begin to focus on what it is God's promise. And so I want to give you 4 questions that you can ask yourself to shift your confident expectation. And I hope you'll write these down, because literally if you take these questions and you do some journaling, you could take 15 minutes on each one of these questions, and literally it could shift you from overwhelm, from hopelessness into a place of hope and confident expectation that your trajectory is going to shift. So question number 1, who am I? Who am I? Because when I'm overwhelmed, I forget who I am. I think, oh, I'm nothing, or I'm a failure. And this is a straight quote from the book. Our identification builds our expectation. Our identification builds our expectation. If I identify as a failure, I expect failure. If I identify as not enough, I expect not enough. If I identify as broke, I expect more opportunity to stay broke. But if I identify as a child of God, if I identify as wealthy, if I identify as someone living on purpose, on a mission, then my identification it builds my expectation. So question number 1, who am I? Like, how are you identifying right now? Do you realize that there is greatness on the inside of you? There's purpose and destiny on the inside of you. Are you identifying as a man, as a woman who is living on purpose? Are you identifying as a person that if you don't fulfill your destiny, a whole lot of other people aren't going to fulfill their destiny? Maybe are you identifying as a mother, as a father, as a mentor, as a leader, as a visionary? You can identify a whole lot of ways. Are you identifying, like the one I mentioned, as a child of God? Like your identification will build your expectation. And so I want to encourage you, you want to get out of overwhelm, out of hopelessness, check your identification, because you need to start to stir up who you really are. And I'm just going to tell you, there's greatness on the inside of you that the world is needing. Question number 2, what do I want? What do I want? Get a vision, spark that in. Where there is no vision, people perish. Like, you need a vision that can drive your expectation, and the clearer your vision, the more you're going to be able to achieve it, the quicker you're going to be able to achieve it. So get a vision. What do I want? Do I want all my bills paid? Do I want to be able to go on a vacation? Maybe not just 7 days, but 2 weeks. Do I want to be able to buy my family a new vehicle that's safer for them? Do I want to be able to retire my parents? Do I want to, what do you want? Do you want to be able to impact thousands of lives with a positive message? Do you want to be able to help people that have suffered abuse or domestic violence find healing and hope again and purpose in their life? Do you want to be able to help single moms? What do you want? And see, the clearer you get about what you want, again, we're shifting confident expectation, because when you get clear about what you want, then you start to get a picture of the future. And that is a powerful thing. Question number 3. And now, some of you may have to edit this one just slightly, but I'm just going to say it the way I would say it for me, which is, what has God promised? Oh my goodness. The promises of God are yes and amen. He has promised a whole lot of good things in the Word of God. And so for me, I need to, when I get overwhelmed, when I start to feel hope, no, I'm going to go back and align my expectation with what God has promised. Not even just what I want, but what He has promised, because His promises don't return void. They accomplish what the purpose for which He sent it. And so there's a guarantee attached to what He promised. There's not a guarantee attached to my words, but there's a guarantee attached to His words. And my word, His words coming out of my mouth, have the same power coming out of my mouth as they did coming out of His. Woo-hoo-hoo! That should be exciting to some of you, because when I begin to speak His words and I just rehearse his promises, then I start to shift my confident expectation. It's hard to have a clear picture of the promises of God and the goodness of God and the love of God and the mercy of God, the grace of God. It's hard to be focused on that and feel overwhelmed. And you know what? It's impossible, to be honest. If you get focused on his promises, that overwhelm is going to fall off you. But not to be left out, one more question. Question number 4 is this: what will I do? Listen, that secret thing in the law of attraction, it's half of the equation. Like, get focused on your thoughts, all that kind of stuff. As a man thinks, so is he. Take captive every thought, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. All that's true, but you got to balance that with, what will I do? Faith without works is, you should comment, hopefully you said it out loud, it's dead, people. It's dead, it's dead, it's dead. We've got to say, what am I willing to do to step into those promises, to create that future, to live into who I truly am, the full potential that God has placed on the inside of me? What am I willing to do? And make a list. Again, I encourage you, take each of these questions, journal set a clock for at least 15 minutes. Hopefully most of you will get carried away and journal a whole lot more than that, because this stuff right here has power to shift you from overwhelm, from hopelessness, to filled and overflowing with hope, with strength, with power, with confidence. And that's what I want for you. I don't want you walking around in overwhelm. I want you to shift that. So what are you willing to do to make the list? And then little bonus question: what's my first step? What's the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller? Great book. He asks the focusing question, and he says this: what is the one thing that by doing it, it makes everything else on your list, makes everything else easier or even unnecessary? Because if I do this one thing right, I don't even have to do that and that. I just did this, and it took care of everything else. So, like, make your list, but then say, all right, what's the one thing that I need to do now? What is my first next step? And if you answer all 4 of those questions and you begin to move from just like a journaling exercise to living into that, to rehearsing these things, it will shift you, guaranteed, from overwhelm, from hopelessness into hope and strength and confidence and the ability to move forward and be who God designed you to be. I'm curious, which one of those questions jumped out at you the most? Like, which one of those got you excited, and before you got off this video, it started to shift your expectation? Drop that in the comments. I'd love to hear feedback from you on this, but this is where we should get off this video right now and go out there and give our greatness to the world, because somebody needs what's on the inside of you. I love you. Have a great week, guys.